Hello. Welcome to Design Time. I'm Jackie Lacey. We're continuing our series on trends for the 2019-2020 holiday, fall, and everyday market that's about to open in Atlanta. We're already prepared here in Jacksonville, and in fact, you may see some people behind me that are already shopping the showroom or hear some of the chatter and noise that is going on. Lots of excitement right now. So as we move through, we're going to talk a little bit about the trends that you're going to see at market, both here in Jacksonville and in Atlanta, not only with NAPCO, but what we're seeing on the market in general. So thank you so much for joining us. As we start to move through this collection, which is entitled Pinecone Frost, you're going to see a lot of what you would have seen in years before, maybe in the collection titled Lodge or Home. It's very outdoorsy. You're going to see a lot of frosted, snow-covered branches, which is a little change this season than we've seen in the past. There's a lot of sparkle, so the glitter has actually gone from a lot of the items onto the branches to show that dew-covered frost or snow. You're going to see a lot of the birch branches, lots of galvanized metal will be in display in all of the collections, not just this one. This particular collection is very earthy, and you're going to see that lodge feel that you would in a cabin in the mountains or perhaps in your home by the lake. As you start to look at the galvanized that we've already talked about being so popular in all the stories, and you start to see some of the rusted metal start to appear. It gives it that sort of used feeling that today's generation really likes, but also we see some of those standard traditional pieces that are picked up in some of the accessory pieces that are available in this particular collection. Continuing to see that outdoorsy feel, you're going to see some uncovered wood pieces that are combined with both rustic metal and galvanized. A lot of luminaries that are available in this particular collection because lighting is incredibly important to today's generation, but also for the holiday. A lot of these pieces could be used virtually year-round, not just at the holiday, and I think that's what a lot of the appeal is with this particular collection. Blue has been really strong on the Pantone charts for the last several years, and we're seeing it start to get a little deeper, a little richer, and it's gone from sort of that dark navy blue into more of a French medium blue. It is that accent color that gets paired with brown incredibly easy, but also with that galvanized look, which brings in the gray tones that we're seeing so popular on the market today. As we look around, especially in this beautiful display piece that we can see, you can also see a lot of the icons have started to change. We're seeing the owl and the deer start to take precedence in a lot of the places where we may have seen last year. We had llamas, we had some of the other reindeer, as well as the playful creatures that you're going to see at this time of the year. You also see really strong that snow-covered look. Really important, not just in this collection, but in a lot of the collections that we're seeing in market today. As we can see in this collection as well, we're picking up a lot of the birch pieces that have been strong in the last several seasons, the last several years, and that's going to continue as we start to look around. Again, the birch combined with the branches, also the galvanized, the little jars that were incredibly popular for some time. And then you start to also see the gnome, which has taken over that icon, and you're seeing now, instead of just the elf on the shelf, we've got the gnome on the roam. As we start to finalize our tour of this particular collection, you're going to notice all the snow-covered, ice-covered branches. The combination of not just the frost, but also that heavy layer of snow that's sort of like the first snow of the season. You'll see a lot of that, so don't forget to incorporate that in some of your purchases as you start to tie together all of the trends for this season. As we continue to move around the showroom and look at the trends that you're seeing currently, I love this collection, which is called Christmas Remembered. It's one of my favorite because it brings out a lot of the feeling of the youth. And remember, at the holiday time, we are all acting and we have that feeling of being a child again. And this one really does emphasize that. You're going to see a lot of the retro colors that have been coming on strong in the last season. That beautiful turquoise blue combined with that medium red tones that gets combined with some of those pieces that those of us that have been around for a while will remember from our youth, and then today's generation are going to pick up on some of the things that are repurposed, recycled, and reused. When you start to combine that beautiful blue tones that we see in this collection with that medium matte red, and remember that's important because a lot of the colors that we're seeing trending right now are a matte color. Not really shiny, not really too dull, but it's more of a flat color so that it really pops out with that combination of galvanized, as we can see in a lot of these pieces here. A lot of display pieces that we're picking up that can be utilized for both entertainment as well as displaying in your store and merchandising some of the smaller pieces. Continuing to look at that Christmas Remembered and some of the pieces that might be available for this collection, really important to bring in that natural earthy feeling with some of the pieces that don't have the snow or the frost. It's really plain when it starts like that. That way you can add what you want to and move it from collection to collection. That's really important because if you trap yourself in to only one style, then you're not going to have as many sales as if you increase the opportunities by starting with something that doesn't have a lot of decor on it and adding what you need to depending on the collection you're going to put that with. As we look through the rest of this collection, you're going to see a lot of not only the display pieces, but again, galvanized ornaments. And one of my favorite pieces in here is that retro or historic bells that have been enlarged for display that could also be used on a Christmas tree, maybe a front door, on a wreath. We start to see the blue change a little bit to where we get more of that medium blue like we see in the poinsettias on the tree, but also look at all the great pieces that are galvanized that have that red Christmas truck with the Christmas tree in the back of it. That's a new icon that we're seeing this year that's come on last year and just increased in popularity for this year. Looking at some of the display pieces that are available, you want to look at what options are there, and this one is a gray car front which shows that retro appeal, but we've added the Christmas tree to it, which can take it to the holiday period, but at the end of the season you can easily take that off and still keep this on display. It's important to cross merchandise and allow yourself the opportunity to use what display pieces you have either year-round or at least for several seasons. This is really important to stretch your budget. Start to look at all of the collections and the trends that you're going to see at market this year. Remember, it's important to cross merchandise, make sure you're getting things that move easily from one collection to the other, and also that represents all of the trends that we see on the market for 2019-2020. One of the really strong trends that you're going to see at market this year is that return to that vintage look. This particular collection is called Vintage Glam, and you're going to see a lot of connection to Art Deco. And Art Deco has come on really strong this season, and we're going to see it in a lot of different ways, some of the shapes, some of the styles, and some of the textures that are being put together. Playing off of that Art Deco, you'll see some shapes in this particular collection that bring in stability, that add that metal, and allow you a lot of different opportunities. Pieces like this are great investments because you can completely cover it to form that you can create out of aluminum wire, bullion, metallic wire, things like that, that make it more opaque for the season, and then still continue to use something like this, even though it's got that traditional Christmas tree shape. Depending on what you put on it, could be used for rental for weddings, for events, or even things during the holiday and beyond, depending on what you put put in it and around it. As we continue to move around, we'll see some of the shapes, like the glittered circles that give you a garland that can be hung from the ceiling or used on a Christmas tree. Gives you some display options. So look for those pieces that you can purposely use in different ways. And then the red tones you'll see in here not only have that shiny metallic feel, but also they have the beautiful burgundy matte look. It's more of a richer red that's in this particular collection. It pairs well with all the other reds, the traditional Christmas red, as well as a little bit more of that orangey red tones that you might see. This is all about glamour. Glamour, sparkle, and sheen. You're going to see those metallic finishes that are combined with some of the sparkle and glitter that end out this beautiful vintage glam collection. One of the things that we've tried to do with this series that we're providing for you for trends is to connect all of the trends together. Join us again on January 30th for the NAPCO Trend webinar, and you'd be able to get a copy that you can use to take to market with you. Trends are trends. Whether they're for one particular company or another, you really want to take the trends that are being provided for you and see how they work in your particular area, in your region. Use them as a tool to direct you in what your merchandising and your purchasing are going to be for the upcoming season. Thank you so much for joining us, and join us again next time for Design Time.